And he's like, well, I'll renew my license for 3 years. I'm like, well, Jim, you got to at least do 4, make it to 50 years, you know. Hey, lie down.
Yeah, but they renew every 3 years.
Lie down. So I imagine, like some of the other seasoned agents that I know, they'll almost always be in it as long as they can keep up on the credits and the hours, and there's no
That's
reason
not
to.
hard. I mean, that's not work.
Yeah,
Like you just attend enough like a few events. I renewed this year. I think I had 70 hours. I think all you have to have is 33 or something.
Oh wow,
stupid.
Okay.
Like I just go to the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you're there anyway. It's not. It's educational. It's just something that you do.
Yeah, I enjoy networking with other realtors. Like I've always, from the very beginning, like I want to know what other realtors are doing.
Yeah,
like, I will share what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I'm not a huddler, right? So going to networking and seeing what our agents doing out there, what's those conversations.
That's kind of what I want this to be, is just to get as many local realtors in here, talk with them to not only figure out who they are, right? It would give them something to post, something to throw out there on their social media, but let people know who they are if they specialize in a certain area. Get that information out there. But then I'm not opposed to talking to mortgage people, title people. But so working on all that and getting that taken care of. Now, you are not shy with social media, right? I know you have at least 1 or 2 YouTube pages along with your other social media. So what are those pages on YouTube?
I have the one I've been doing the most recently on is the Market Makers of Iowa, which is all real. It's kind of like this, but it's all real estate agents and lenders, and talking internally about our businesses, how you started, what you see success, how other people can be successful, that type of thing. And then living in Des Moines is a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. More audiences, the home buyers that are moving to Des Moines. Mm-hmm. And then investing in Des Moines is the other YouTube channel, which is literally what it says, like all about real estate investments in the Des Moines area.
Sure. You're moving to Des Moines one. I found that a year and a half, 2 years after we started working together. And I know you hired me very early on to go get all that drone footage. And I'm like, I haven't seen this on his social media. I don't know how it finally fed into my algorithm, but I'm like, hey, I recognize that footage.
Yep.
So that's
an interesting channel because I don't tell anybody about it. Mm-hmm. Like you're not supposed to, because then Google doesn't know. It gets confused on who should see it.
Yep.
So if you don't tell anyone, Google figures out who should see it if it's good enough. Yep. And then it will just go. So.
Yep. No,
I do more. There's a few agents. Matt Fieldbreath does it.
Yep.
My admin started, and she goes, "You used to get a lot of YouTube leads. Where'd they go?" And I'm like, I stopped doing the videos, and I was like, I should do more of them.
Yep.
Because it's fun. Just work.
Yep. It's work. It's editing. It's set up like this. 3 cameras, getting those all to sync.
I hate it.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And I do all that myself. It's not fun, but it's fun to learn. I enjoy the process. You work with a lot of investors, right? What's investors and the market today? How has that changed from? Because you've been in the business how long?
Since June of 2020. So
2020. Okay.
5.5 years, 6 years.
So you started just before I did, because I started December 2020.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So how has that changed, and how has your business changed over those now 5.5, 6 years?
Like that's a loaded question of like, is the business change? Like investors, there'll always be a market for investors because there is an opportunity somewhere. right? Like investors, all they're trying to do is put their money in a place that they feel the risk is worth the reward, right? It's as simple as that. Des Moines is not like a ton of cash flowing. Like you can buy 50 houses and retire, right? Like it's not a ton of that. It's more of a combo between that and like the trust and appreciation of the Des Moines market. It's okay. It's not like crazy. You can buy other markets that have better chances of appreciation.
So where would those markets be?
The coasts.
Okay.
Right? Like your chance of appreciation in the coasts are much better, right? Or each coast, doesn't matter, right? You have to find the market, but Denver, right? The chances of appreciation, like even because the home values are more expensive there, a 3% appreciation, way different.
Sure. Yep.
Than 3% appreciation here.
Yeah.
Right. So like if that's what you want to trust, then that's where you would invest. Right. Des Moines has a combination of a little bit of that and a little bit of cash flow. You can get enough rent to cover the mortgage, typically in rents in Des Moines. But does it enough to also cover the expenses and also cover capital expenditures, tenant vacancies, and that type? So investors have to, depending on the market, have to think through all of those things.
One of the, you're part either leader or part of a number of like investment groups outside of your YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
You know, your mornings, your afternoons, your evenings. What are some of the leading questions from new investors?
The most common is like, should I wholesale properties? Right? Have you heard of wholesaling? Mm-hmm. So should I wholesale properties? Should I be an agent in order to be an investor? How do I flip a property? Like those are the most common questions. And it's really like, how do you get into real estate without spending any money?
Sure. Yeah. Which I've heard the term wholesaling before, but what is that?
The best example would be is you have a house to sell and you sell it to me for $100,000. Okay. We write a contract. We both agree on a contract. I'm going to pay you $100,000. I go to, what's your dog's name?
Rex.
Rex. If Rex is a human, say, hey, Rex, I have this property. I want to sell it to you for $120,000. Your property. Rex says, fine. So Rex is going to buy your property, but what he's going to do in doing that, it's a piece of paper that he's buying. He's buying the piece of paper for $20,000, and he's buying the property from you for $100,000. I get the 20 of the difference. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
You get your 100, like you said. You thought you were going to. Rex paid $120,000 for the house.
Okay, so
I make $20,000 because he paid me for the contract that I had with you. It's not a really, like, me and his transaction was not a real estate transaction.
Your and my transaction was a real estate transaction.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of weeds that go into that. Can you do it? Can you not? What are the stipulations? You can do it. Gets a little hairy. You just have to, like, the right way to do is that you know that you are giving the property away for less than what the value is in order to it happen quickly.
Sure.
If you don't know, that's where it gets really like ethical and problem.
Where somebody
he gets mad that
feels,
you found out.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have sold it for $120,000. Usually that guy, Rex, wouldn't care that he's paying $120 because he knows, like, he doesn't care what I'm getting paid. He just knows he's getting the property and it's worth the $120,000.
Yeah, I mean, obviously wholesale is not retail, so that
Correct. It's literally it's the definition, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's not. There's not a lot of it. A lot of people now will just close twice, so that it'll be. I mean, you and I would close, and then 10 minutes later, me and him would close. That would be what's more common now. So then it's two real estate transactions.
2 real estate transactions. Okay. You've started to build a team. How many members do you have on your team selling real estate?
6.
6.
If you include me. It's 6 or 7. No pun intended. Trying to get over that hump. Yes.
I would too.
Trying hard.
Are your kids into that whole thing? Or are they not?
They're homeschooled, so like they aren't nearly as like in it. But if I say it, their oldest, our 8-year-old, would laugh. He would make a comment.
My daughter's in that right now, and it's driving myself and my son nuts. I don't know about my wife.
It comes up so commonly.
It really does.
So weird. I mean,
you never know until
You say it and you're like, dang it, I said it.
what time's dinner? Well, 6 or 7.
Yeah. So
it's
stupid.
like, dang it, son of a gun.
Yeah. Yep. So six-ish agents. We started that first agent December of 25. 4. Geez.
4. I was gonna say this is
Wasn't
December
this year.
25.
December of 24. Yes.
Okay. And how's that going?
It's going fairly well. 2 agents have capped, so they've sold
That's
6
good.
or 7 or 8 properties. Jeez. Which was fun for them, right? Like that's when they start. I mean, not that they weren't making good money before, but they are really seeing the fruit of their labor. And then 4 other agents that like have a couple have listings, a couple have some buyers in the pipeline. It's been fun. We've had 3 or 4 agents leave this year, not stay on the team. I didn't want a team where I had people that didn't want to work, just wanted to do this passively, because one of the reasons I wanted to start a team was to have like killers around me, people that wanted to get after it. And so weeding those folks out, they say they want to at the beginning, and then they kind of see what it looks like, and it's not their cup of tea. And by all means, I don't care. I want them to do whatever they want as a team. If you don't want to be on it, don't.
Yep. No, it's something that, I've thought about here. Like, do I want a team? Do I want that? Do I not want it? A little bit different situation than
Commission. Yeah.
Than a real estate team, especially with, I think the state did away with, why can't I ever come up with the word when I want to? Non-competes.
Oh yeah.
Right. So essentially I could be training my competition, send them off in 6 months once they felt they've,
I love
learned
that.
enough.
I'm a purebred capitalist, like through and through. So I love that because that means you didn't provide value to them. Right? Same as on the real estate team. If I trained up agents and they leave and go do their own thing, that means the value that I provided was only for the beginning, and I didn't have that next level of value to bring. They shouldn't stay with me. Like I shouldn't be able to hold them hostage, in my opinion. Old school agents don't agree with that at all.
Right.
It's just such I'm a free market person. So
That's a very good, I like that. And that's going to make me think a little bit, but,
and I was anti-team for 5 years, like hated all of the team structures because I couldn't see the value. And so it took me 6 months of brainstorming and research and talking to teams around the country of like, how do you do it? Why do you do it? What do you see in the agents? Why would they stay? Because I would never have joined a team, ever.
so what flipped the switch?
A combination of things. One, I had some folks hold one of my listings open, some other agents in the office, and it was held open, I want to say 10 weeks. For 10 weeks, it was listed 3 months. Yeah, about 3 months. So over that time, the gals that held that property open sold 6 houses from just holding that open. And from people that walked through and whatnot, I was like, I didn't get any percentage of that.
Yeah.
But if I had a team, they would have been had the opportunity to hold that open. Sure. And so I was like, okay, so I missed out on some lower hanging fruit there. How many other times could that have happened? Because I don't hold many of my houses open. We go to church on Sundays, and I don't do many open houses. But team agents, they're one of the best ways to grow a business if you're willing to learn how to do opens correctly. You can only do that and grow a business. One of the guys on my team sold 4 houses from open houses.
That's great.
Yeah, that was one reason. The other thing is I sell 50 to 60 houses a year. And so I can't stop growing. I would either went and did something else and real estate, or I could have just piled on to what I'm doing in real estate. And selling another 50 houses didn't sound like that much more fun. Like if I sold 100 instead of 50 and figuring out that process, that didn't sound nearly as much fun as helping other agents sell houses. It would have been more in my control, I think, right? It would have been just up to me, where this is a little bit more it's up to me to train them and find them, but it's then up to them to go spread their wings and sell houses. So We're testing that theory out. Worst case, I go back, no team, and I say team like team agents, right? I've had an admin since the first year in real estate. I understand what I'm not good at. You've noticed this, I'm sure. Like,
there's
terrible admin.
It's nice to have more than one phone number to call. You know, when you're standing out in the snow.
I thought you meant because I have two different numbers. I was like, I know, I'm sorry.
No, not that. But when you're standing out in the snow and the lockbox isn't working, you know,
it works, by the way.
It eventually worked when you put the right number in.
Oh, it's the only lockbox I have with that number.
Thinking of like home buyers, home sellers, what is one of their biggest misconceptions when they either step into the market as a first-time seller or a first-time buyer?
They shouldn't have any if they have a buyer appointment with a good agent and a seller appointment with a good selling agent, because they'll be prepped for all of that, right? If you are just scrolling TikTok, like it totally depends on your algorithm or, Instagram Reels. So like, it's really tough to answer that. For first-time home buyers, I've been amazed at how many people think they have to have 20% down to buy a house. Like, that's been surprising to me because, that's not common at all for a first-time home buyer. Almost none do. And so that would be one thing. On the sell side, I've been surprised at the clear difference between a staged house and a not staged house. And how
shocking.
It is crazy for $1,500 of staging, if that, depending on the size of the house and whatnot. But like, if you're vacant, if your house is vacant, you're not living there anymore and you're not staging it, like, you're stupid not to stage it. Like, it won't get as many showings. Now, do I know if it won't sell for as much? No, because it's so hard to tell and prove that number. But if you look at photos in a side-by-side, it is massive.
I completely agree. Having a staged house gives somebody like me, somebody who's there to take the photos, it gives me different vignettes to show. Rather than just shooting from the corner, it's not going to say anything to anybody if I step halfway into that room and shoot where the couch might be.
Yeah.
Right? Type thing. So having a staged house, it makes such a difference because people can see size.
Yep.
We're all using approximately the same like width of lens.
Yeah.
But some of us are a little bit wider, some of us are a little bit narrower, and we all shoot a little bit different. Some of us step all the way back into the corner, some of us step into the room. So what's
the pros? Like, why is there that different? I didn't know all of this, to be honest. I do not pay attention to photos. Amanda on my team, she does. She is, we call her the photo Nazi. She's like, that was terrible. Like, we need to do this and this and this. And I'm like, I can't even see what you're seeing. So
interesting.
How do you know as a photographer what to do?
When I step up for a shot, I'm going down, I'm looking in the viewfinder, and I'm setting up my composition there.
Gotcha.
And then, okay, I've got my two walls, right? A lot of times I'll try and get a corner of a third because there might be a window there, might be something. And I'm framing it up, I'm taking the shot, and then I come back and I edit those pieces together. And I try and get that third wall in there a lot of times because there's a closet in the smaller rooms that's in that, it's in the corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, really just trying to show space and show how things can fit without too many distractions.
I've noticed some of your Facebook posts, just like the differences in like lighting and colors of like the real colors versus fake colors and whatnot. Again, that's a world. I must not be a very visual person. So I can't even fathom doing what you do.
I was in a house yesterday and I pulled out my phone and I set it up, and you're doing video. You understand white balance a little bit.
Yeah.
But like here, it would adjust the color within the camera to make sure that this wall is white. Okay. So if I change those to really yellow lights, it would adjust it in camera so that that still looked white. Yeah. Which is why you have daylight light bulbs and you have tungsten light bulbs and you have soft white, all that different color, right?
Yep.
Well, our cameras do an okay job at deciphering that, but when you have light coming in from a window that's this color, and you have light coming from the ceiling that's yellow, it really muddies those colors up.
Yeah.
And so I set my phone up and I locked the white balance for the color that was outside. Had all the lights off, and then I went and turned all the lights on, and the white walls went from white to orange.
Yeah.
So that one of the things that I preach with how I shoot, when you're able to control the light, which is what I do by using flash,
right,
I can adjust the camera settings so that they're 100% dark until I use that flash, and I can ensure perfect color. And that may have just gone completely over your head.
But I don't know how, like, it's the who, not how thing. It's the why. It's the reason I, as a realtor, do not pay or do not do my own photos.
Yeah.
None of that. No way. No way.
Yeah.
And it's so important, though, especially in the world we live today, of visualizing, and you don't know it until you see the comparison. Like the times that you're scrolling and you stop, you don't realize it's because it looks natural or the color was right. It's not. Sometimes it's the words that are on the screen or whatever, but it's like, oh, that clicks. Why does it click? Do you comprehend why it clicks? You probably don't. You just know.
It's something about it. Just
it's weird.
Yep.
Humans.
Yeah, humans and how our brains work and our now short attention span. One question that I've asked every guest that I've had so far.
Is there a right answer?
No.
Okay.
No. What's the craziest thing you've seen either at a showing or at an appointment or something like that?
It's dealing with investment properties. It was it had to be first year. I have to go back and look. Within the first 12 months. Got a call, referral from another agent. I don't think they were local. And they said, we got an investor that has 3 properties that they want to sell. And I was like, awesome, let's do it. Drive by, they look crappy, but like, I mean, I'm fine with that. I walked through some crazy houses. So I was like, okay, what's the access? Because there was people living in them, and they're like, well, they're vacant. And I was like, they're not vacant. And he goes, well, there's no, like, we don't live there. There's no one managing them. They're vacant. And I was like, okay, let me go to the houses. It's 3 in a row. Northeast of Drake, right? It kind of tells you where they're at. And I walk up to one of the doors, and it was open. Walked in, took pictures. I was like, okay. You could tell there'd been people there, and like that really doesn't bother me. Like I've seen it pretty commonly. The other one was a duplex and a triplex. The duplex, I knocked on the door, and I was like, hey, realtor showing. Property owner asked us to walk through and take pictures. Did they let you know? And they're like, no, we didn't know. And so they let me in, took the pictures. The triplex, they wouldn't let me in. No, none of the units would let me in. And I told the owner, I was like, hey, there's people there that live there. Did you know that? No, I had no idea. So I went back to the houses and I said, hey, the owner said that there isn't anyone living here. Who you like, what are you doing? They're like, yeah, we're paying, I can't remember the guy's name, like Billy. Some guy's name. We're paying him monthly rent. And I was like, well, he doesn't own the houses. They're like, well, is he a property manager? I'm like, not for the owner. And I was like, oh, wow. You guys are paying somebody that doesn't have access. Like, they don't own these properties. Swear. Yep. I was like, this is bonkers. So Billy on the street was making
somehow he gained access, knew these properties were.
Yep. Yeah, it was bonkers.
Wow.
It was bonkers. Then, so the property owner's like, hey, can you get them vacated and like list them? And I was like, I mean, I'm not going to kick anybody out. I was like, so call an attorney and figure that out. And in the meantime, he's like, well, just go like serve them. No, what do you say? Go tell them they all need to move out. And I was dumb enough to like go over there, and but I knew to call the cops. So I was like, hey, cops, can you join me to get them out? And the cops rolled up and they're like, yeah, we've been here a couple times this week already. And they say they have leases and we can't kick them out if they have leases. Wow. And I was like, mind blowing. So that's the craziest, just confusing situation.
Yeah.
And probably, I shouldn't probably have been there.
And as a fairly young agent too.
Yeah.
Right.
But I've been walking rentals for 3 years. So like because I brought properties before I was an agent. So like I get that process and it wasn't foreign to me. But the and I knew not to get in a confrontation, right? Like it's not worth any of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you had to take those off. They are all now torn down. So that's what happened there.
So somebody bought them and tore them down, same guy still owns it.
Somehow they got rid of the people.
Okay. All right.
Not like
fair enough.
not that risque, but
I was kind of wondering. I'm like, did I shoot those? Apparently not. So
nope. Yeah, I mean, you shoot most of mine. There's, a handful every year that I'm like, we're not getting professional photos here. And the owners know it. Like they're flips or they're former rentals that they don't need professional photos.
Sure. No, I get that.
Which is one of those where like agents are like, well, photos are terrible. And like, I do it too to others. And I'm like, yeah, but sometimes they don't need to be like, it's not the intent. I have one going live today that is $95,000 and needs $80,000 of work.
In your business, investors versus, call them
retail buyers.
Retail buyers, yeah.
Yep.
What's kind of your split?
It's almost 50-50.
Is it? Okay.
Yep. Out of state's like 20%, 20 and 30% of the investor business is out of state investors buying or selling. So I split it up that way too, because I do work with a lot of people out of state.
And how do they find you?
Online stuff. Online, Bigger Pockets is a website I've been contributing to forever, which is an real estate investor, just like forum. I've had a handful. Every year I probably have at least 2, probably 5 that are like, hey, you listed a property in the neighborhood of a rental that we want to sell. We're out of state. We don't really know realtors, but you clearly sold something in the neighborhood. I was like, well, take more of those.
Right. But, right. Yeah. That's I would assume fairly low. They're not sitting there like interviewing multiple agents. It's just call the list, right?
Well, the industry standard is crazy when it comes to interviewing agents. Do you know it?
In terms of what?
How many people interview them?
I would guess most people don't.
Yes.
They call their friend, they call somebody and say, hey, I want you to list my house.
It's like 85%.
Wow.
And like they hire the first realtor. I think and they don't interview any others, or maybe that's a stat of they just hire the first realtor. But then there's a stat of like they don't even interview anyone. It's just one.
You suppose that's because of social media or
that way before social media?
Recommendations or
like I don't know the answer. All I know is like it was the reason I don't have a polished listing proposal. Because I think like you aren't competing typically in a listing. Wow. Now if you're calling expireds and like that is a different niche. But generally if someone's recommended to you, they're in your database, they know you some reason, they see your stuff on social media, they're probably not interviewing. And so me spending my time like on the perfect listing proposal, listing presentation, I'm like, I can do it. I can fumble my way around it and be decent.
For the retail seller, what's a non-negotiable when listing their house?
What do you mean?
Like something that you'll hold firm on if, they're saying, well, what about this? Or
I never tell them what to do.
Okay.
Like I disagree that realtors have the authority or power to truly tell them what to do of what is best. I will give them the options. Hey, you could do this. This is probably what's going to return if you do that. You could do this, and this is probably what's going to happen if you do that. But in staging, in cleanup, in decluttering, in pricing, I don't think that we are that good that we could say the market says this house is worth $285,000. It's a range there.
Oh, absolutely.
But most, from my experience, when I talk to realtors, they will tell people, hey, it's worth this much.
But is it?
Within $10,000, I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Higher price point you get, the harder it is to like narrow down that range.
I would agree.
Right? So it's kind of like, do I want to be the authority? Like, yes, I want to tell them I know the market, I know the intricacies. But even in an appraisal world, and they, I mean, some are really good, some suck, but the appraisers, they have a formula for it, and they'll come off $20,000 differences at times. So you think a realtor that only does 100, and that's a lot, 100 CMAs a year, can truly tell the value of a property? I don't know.
Kind of difficult.
It's so hard. So I just tell them, I based on the market, I think this lower range of the pricing, staging the same way, like, I think it makes a big difference. Do I have data and stats behind whether it actually does? I don't.
Oh, I mean, it would be difficult to judge.
So hard. But the other thing on that is you have new home builders, and every one of their homes that are like their model home are staged. Why do you think that is, right? Because it looks better staged. And they have the data behind it. So they're probably right.
Well, I mean, if you were to look at, this house, even if they were neighbors, right? Neighbors, same house.
Yeah.
One was staged, one wasn't.
It's a new build.
There's going to be subtle differences between the two houses, right? Whether one, even if they're both staged, you'd almost have to have parallel universes.
Correct.
Right.
The new home builders is the best example of that.
Yep.
Like it's the only way to and they stage a lot of houses. And so that's where I'm like, they have big data.
What's something that you've found value in your business that other agents may not have?
It's a boring answer, but it's the people that you already know, marketing to them instead of the new bright and shiny Zillow lead or online lead or even social media that is not people that already know, like, and trust you. So first 2 years in the business, I did nothing for my past clients and sphere of influence of people that knew me. On Facebook or social media, yes, but I didn't send newsletters. I didn't send emails. I didn't run events. And it was 2 years into it. I asked Aaron Rundle at Keller Williams. I was like, hey, Aaron, this is where my business is at. It's good, but I want to do the next step. What's it look like? She's like, what do you do for your past clients in database? And I was like, nothing. She's like, and you sell this many houses and you do nothing?
So past clients, friends, family, sphere of influence, that sort of stuff.
People that already know, they already know, like, and trust you, right? Now, if you're a jackwad and you might not have that many, I feel like I'm fairly social. I know quite a bit of people. I'm pretty nice. I'm not that mean. There's a lot of people don't like me, but there's enough that know me and trust me, right? And so I was like, okay, what's that look like? So I've built that out for the last 3 or 4 years.
Nice.
And it took me a little long, but it is. I don't do very much. I don't pay for leads. I pay for that database touches. Pay for some leads, but nothing crazy. And so there isn't one thing spigot that could turn off and be like, Darson, you're at 0.
But I mean, you have to, right? I mean, you don't.
You don't have
true,
to. That's
true.
what I mean. That most agents, they don't, or they they're so personable that everyone enough people remember them that they keep a pretty good business, at 20 to 35 houses a year, right? Which is pretty good business. But the number of people who forget about them is massive because they don't do the reminder media type stuff.
Yep.
And I didn't know that was so important until Aaron pointed it out, and I was like, okay, let's do that. And now I see it 3 years later. It's just keep doing that. It costs money. Sure. It's a process, but it's not autopilot, but it's pretty close.
One of the things that came in my brain as I'm driving around, just looking at different things and thinking about real estate and photos and video and all that stuff is, what was it, a couple years ago that there was this huge, social media kick on the fees and the commissions that realtors are.
July of 24.
And as I was running around, and I know all the normal ones, you've got the broker fee, and all of, and then I started to think about some of the other ones. I can't remember what they were, but I'm going, okay, that comes off of there, that comes off of there, that comes off of there. Like, on average out of that commission, because you're paying assistance, you're paying transaction.
Oh, you mean like not to the client, but
no, to how much you're actually making because of all of the expenses that are potentially coming behind the scenes.
It's business.
Yeah.
Right?
What I'm getting at is that the seller, if they're not educated, they don't understand that you have this team of people, not just the brokerage, but a team of people behind you to help you transact the number of transactions you're doing every year. Whereas if you were doing 5, right, you would probably have the time to sit down and do it all yourself. So
it's still getting done. Right? It's getting done regardless. And the client doesn't really care, right? As long as it's done well. But as a profitability, like, you can't scale in that and do it all yourself. And so if you don't want to scale, it's fine. You're just capped, and you're going to higher net profit. But is that what you want to do? I can't do that because I'm bad at most of the things.
Right.
But like, I also love business. I love real estate, but as an asset, but like, the business side of it is super fun.
Well, is there anything that you want to talk about?
I always ask this question to all the vendors that I work with. Is like, when you see successful agents, what are they doing? If you could see inside their business, or from what you can tell, what are they doing differently than the people that are not successful? Not like, might mean different things.
It's going to mean different things for,
Rex, we're going to do a deal later.
Dude.
Calm down.
Relax. They're hitting all their touch points, right? They're hitting, not in an aggressive way, but they're being out in the community. They're being with the people that they know. They're taking care of their clients, those sort of things. They're doing the right things when it comes to marketing their house, whether they're using me or not.
Do you think marketing a house, like, it shows that an agent is good?
No, because it can be faked. And Jim and I were talking about that very thing.
Totally.
Somebody can post so much out there that they have the appearance of being good, but if they can't back it up and they're getting deals because of it, right? And
they're just working so hard at it.
They're putting so much time and effort into building that online presence that they're getting noticed, and they're getting those phone calls, right? And with what we already talked about, sellers they're not interviewing
not usually
more than one agent. And so I think an online presence certainly can make a difference. I know that one of my agents listed a very, very nice property, and they were able to bring the buyer in too because of the marketing and the online presence that they had.
So they didn't know the person?
No.
So is this,
it was somebody that saw them online that said, "Hey, I saw you, list this property." That agent is Instagram, TikTok. Just constantly. But they were able to bring in a buyer and sell the home on $1 million plus home.
There's it's a really hard ratio to track. But there are studies out there of, like, for every listing, you should have X number of buyers. The rule of thumb is a 1-for-1. So for every listing that you get, it should, by just marketing that property, should produce 1 buyer that you didn't have in your pipeline. it's really hard. When it happens, you're like, oh, the real estate gods. But I think done correctly, and that doesn't always mean like all social media. It could be the right number of open houses, a newsletter to the neighborhood or whatever, a postcard in the neighborhood, just listed, whatever it is. I don't know the exact like perfect way to do it. But it's one of those where I think I've talked to agents where they're like, oh, I won't list a house that's overpriced. I'm like, you can send that referral to me because I will list it. I will tell the seller what it should sell for, but if they want to list it for more, my goal is to get a buyer from that listing. If they're not willing to sell it for the price it's going to sell at, let's go get a buyer for it. So
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in the business, so why would I?
But like your job is, or part of your job is marketing it, right? So like that is a value that you totally can be like, hey, how do we do this? How do we track this? This is a value. Like, I don't know the formula, but it is there.
Have you ever made just a random, I don't want to say connection, but there was a random personal connection in somebody that you didn't know beforehand in real estate or anything like that?
Oh, all the time. I mean, like, you mean where our paths would have then crossed or something? So like, it's as simple as I had a sign call from a college girlfriend's sister. She called me and she's like, hey, I saw that you listed this house. Can you show it to me? Like, she was in my database, technically. Hadn't talked to her in 10 years.
Sure.
Sold her house.
Nice.
Right? Like,
Did she remember you?
oh yeah, she knew who I
Okay.
was. Yeah, but she didn't think of me from socials.
Sure.
Or anything else. It was just the sign.
It's just a sign.
She drove by and saw it. And then
crazy.
she bought a different house, but called on that one.
He was like, hey, he's a realtor.
Yep. I know his name.
How many guys can be out there named Darson Grantham?
Very many. So, I mean, that happens. That stuff happens all the time, especially in Des Moines. You just, two questions and you connect with someone somehow.
Yep.
Typically the people we work with are kind of like in our circle and like they think like we do. And so your paths cross even quicker.
Somebody coming wants to get into real estate. What is something that they should know just about the industry in general, or even, being like, hey, Darson, what's it look like to join your team?
It could look like, one thing to think about is it could be, it is completely different for everybody. There's different scales of being an agent, right? You could sell 6 houses a year and that could be exactly what you want. Right? Fine. You could sell 50 houses a year like me, and it's like, I don't know, 13, 14, $15 million in volume. There's another luxury agent that sells the same amount of volume, makes the same amount of money, but only sells 18 houses. Mm-hmm. We have completely different businesses. Neither of us work harder than the other. Like, both work very hard, just completely different. So coming into being an agent, like, I would take a step back and like have your friends, family, or agents that know you, or someone that knows you well, and be like, what resources do I have that would help me formulate what my market, what my business is going to look like? I listen to a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Mm-hmm. So like being self-aware of what are you actually good at, or going to be good at, or want to do, or want to wake up every day and do.
I was listening to him right before you got here.
I listened to an obnoxious amount of him. Obnoxious.
It was actually an interview or a back and forth between him and Tom Ferry.
Oh yeah, that's old then.
No, he just did another one within the last couple months.
Okay. Really?
Or it posted within the last couple months. I'll put it that way on Tom Ferry.
Yeah.
Podcast, whatever.
It was a Zoom. It wasn't in person.
Yeah. It was a Zoom.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe it was reposted.
I follow both of them. It might have been.
Because they talked about the one that they had done.
Yeah, like
years ago.
Yeah.
But so
did I answer that question? Yeah. A new agent coming in.
a follow up on it. Are you looking for new agents? Are you looking for agents that have been in the business? Who is it you're looking for, and what is it you're looking for in the agent that's looking to potentially join with you?
Still getting more clear on that. Like, a new agent, like, you're going to give you all the resources to get up and running in the back end, but like, you have to be willing to work, right? Showing up, 30 to 40 hours a week. I'm not hiring on my team part-time agents. We are doing all of the marketing for you. You don't have to lift a finger in that. So that's the value that our team brings, which is going to be like, I mean, one-on-ones with me very regularly, team meetings twice a week, all that good stuff. The agent that's been doing business and like would join the team, I've struggled with this because I'm like, who is that person? And really it's like, it's someone that loves meeting with people, but hates the business side of the business. Sure. Like hates finding who's going to call me next. But when they call me, I'm pumped for it. What open houses do I do? Because our team will schedule your open houses, like schedule your lead gen. If you like to work from home, don't join the team. Like I understand some people love to work from home. Mm-hmm. That's not who I want to have on the team. It doesn't provide good value. I go to the office every day. I mean, unless I'm doing appointments, I'm there every day. The team is there most of the days. And I think that when you sit around a group of people that are doing 75 plus transactions a year, like you absorb those transactions and you learn quickly. If there's an agent that hates marketing and they like, hey, just take all my marketing, send it all off, like do it for me. I just want to go meet with people, sign them, get a listing appointment, get a buyer appointment, buyer sign, listing sign, hand it to the team handles the rest. If you are a DIY person, and don't value your time, don't join the team.
DIY person meaning what?
Do it yourself.
Well, no, I understand that.
Like,
but
I want to have my nose in the transaction the whole way.
Okay.
Right? Because like to me, once you go under contract as an agent on a team, like I'm structured, you're only notified if there's a fire, right? You're kept in communication, but there's no reason you need to reach out to the client. They're being updated by the team. They're telling, like every week they're getting an email, if not a phone call. They know, what proceeds are going to be they know it all from our team. You as the agent don't have to pay attention to that. So I basically created it because that's how I am. Like, sure. I don't want to do that stuff. I'll talk to the client. I'll talk to him anytime. But like, our team should answer all the questions for him so that I only have to come in if it's like a fire drill. Mm-hmm. And so some agents love that. Some agents can't handle it. They are a control freak, right? Yep. And they'll never scale, and that's totally fine. Yep. Don't care. But if I think 25 deals a year as a team agent is a part-time job. Like it's not two a month is easy. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to get, but it's easy to manage. Sure. So like you should be able to do 30, 40, 50 on a team if you're actually doing sales.
Any other questions that you have for me? Or, industry?
I know there are rules and regulations around it, but I would challenge you to find ways to prove more return to agents. Like I think like a combo between a marketing agency and a photographer, which you probably, maybe you're doing some of it, but like the number of agents that just suck at marketing, mm-hmm. and like they would pay a percentage or a bigger dollar amount if they could be proven that marketing would work for them. It's hard to prove.
It's very hard to prove.
So hard. And you have to control and they can close, right?
Right? Yeah.
Which I get.
No, it's interesting you say that because it's something that I've thought about, and I have lost clients because I've tried to get them to try something new.
Yeah.
Push them out of their comfort zone to try something new and to do it for a period of time to see what can come from it. The really hard thing is with that is any media producer or individual can create the most outstanding, best media that is possibly out there. But if it's not used correctly, they aren't going to see the value in it. And unfortunately, I don't have the time right now in my business to focus that much on singular clients.
Well, it's the same mentality of like Gary Vaynerchuk says it all the time. What's a basketball valued for LeBron James? Billions.
Yeah.
For him, it's like negative $40,000 because he had a bunch of surgeries and never made a penny from basketball.
Yep.
It's a basketball, same thing.
Yep.
So that's I get it. But that's like, to me, that's your industry has to be like, I don't say it has to be, especially with AI coming up and like how easy that's becoming for people to like just step into and run with the software and stuff. Like somehow an ROI on the like product, but I don't know.
A model I have toyed with in my brain is having a select number of clients.
Yeah.
Right? Just a select number, and really going deep with those clients.
Yep.
Not just doing the one-off whatever, whether it be, it'll probably be 5 to 10 clients, and that's it. Where I'm producing that high-end media at every single listing. The agent's not getting off with just a video. They're on camera talking about them.
That's so funny. Like some agents don't like it.
Oh, some agents are absolutely scared of it and won't even hardly be on camera to open a door and not say anything. So
why is that? Like,
I have no idea.
What is the difference?
Well, the thing is with it is I think some agents, even though this has been a very fluid, very just open conversation back and forth, because there's 3 cameras here, they'd be sitting there like jittery on it.
Because of the 3 cameras?
Because of the cameras and because they're pointed in this direction. And we got the lights and it's dark and, it just scares the crap out of them.
Why are people that way? Maybe that's a people question. It's probably not an agent question. It's a people question. But they're good agents.
They're great agents. I've worked with some of the top agents in...
I'll just tell you right this. If anyone is listening to this and like you're losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's a fact.
You got to get on camera.
You don't have to.
But you should.
You're losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars by not doing it. But you don't have to. There's people that are agents that are very successful that are not on social media.
What's the average age of that agent?
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like, they're still successful by not being on social media. They would be much more successful by being on social media. Yeah. But like, they don't have to be.
And I'm not saying that these agents aren't on social media.
Their face isn't though?
They're still images. So still images.
No one looks that good.
Consistent posts. Well, you can Photoshop a flat image, right? It's...
I'm so confident in that stuff. I would love to you can't do that because you'd have to get them to compromise. But like, I would pay for all of the marketing material for them to be on if you could prove hey, these leads came from this, because it would the return on investment would be bonkers.
Yeah. In order to ensure that they do it right, I mean, they'd almost have to give me or some marketing person access to their stuff, and they would call it 1 day a week every 2 weeks or 1 day a week every week of the month. We'd be creating something to, whether it's in the office and making phone calls, whether it's getting a buyer or seller who's willing to let me come in and just get 5 minutes of them work, just all those different things, just getting that media to mix in with their static posts, I think would make a huge difference.
Yep, it would.
Huge difference.
It would be crazy.
I had another thought there. What was it? So that is something that I've toyed around with. But finding finding the agents that would be willing to invest in something like that, I think is difficult because they have
your time frame, right? Like it's time consuming up front for you because the proof is not like it takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so either one of you is not getting paid up front, right? Or one of they
aren't getting the ROI
right?
up front.
One person's going to pay the money, and you're going to get money, right? Because you're getting paid. Or you do it for free until it starts producing, and then you get paid, where they're getting free time from you until it starts producing.
So,
right? So it's one or the other, right? Which
I've also thought about a model where I come in and I produce the media, and then when that house closes, I'm a portion of that. Is there a way in the real estate business that would actually work? Because I'm not a real estate agent, right? But how
you should go get licensed.
I've thought about it.
And then just put you just go get licensed, and then you put your license in referral only mode. I know Keller does it. I'm sure other brokerages do it too, where all you can do is get referrals and you're not actually out selling. Then you can.
Okay, interesting. And what's for an agent looking, or for somebody that's looking to become an agent, I'm sure it depends on their learning style, but what are some of the ways that they can learn how to get their license?
Oh, it's like quick Google search. You can email me. I have a canned email because of people coming on the team. Like, here's all the videos to watch. Like what life of being in real estate might look like. Here's the state licensing, the testing, the step-by-step process. So there's a ton out there that do it. If that is your hiccup, you don't belong in real estate.
Sure.
Right? Like if you can't go research that yourself. But it takes $2,200, roughly $2,300, roughly 96 hours of in-class work and passing a test and a background check.
Okay.
The $2,200 is not one payment. It's kind of like $500.
Chunk here, chunk there.
It's chunked up. I had someone the other day, he's like, I can't swing $2,200. And I was like, over the next 3 months, can you? Can you break it down into, thirds? He's like, oh yeah, I can do that. It's like, well, there you go. Like, start it now. Pay the next.
See, for me, I signed up for an online class
For $400.
for $400 or whatever it was, and I
Don't do that.
I couldn't do it. I have to be there in person.
Yep.
It's blocked out on my calendar, and because with the kids, the wife, the sports that I cover, all that stuff, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I got through maybe half of it.
I not only couldn't get through it, I wouldn't have passed the test. So that's the other reason to do it in person. The instructors literally tell you every question that's on the test. And I have a better memory than I do like comprehension.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I'm right there with you.
Like I'll just memorize it. Like that's what I did when I passed. Like the only reason I passed is I just literally brute force memorized all the shit.
Nice.
You don't have it anymore.
Right? What's the post I keep seeing? I have never had to answer the question, how many square feet are in an acre or something.
I'm a math person, but there's a couple of like farm ground plot, like squares and formula or whatever. And when they told me, they're like, yeah, there'll be for sure two, maybe four on the test. And I was like, the amount of time it's going to take me to study that and understand it, I'm just going to punt all of those questions and answer A on all of them. And I'm just going to get the rest right. Like, that's what I did. I just didn't study that part. So I was like, I'm not, it was, and I'm a math person. That was confusing as all get out.
Well, let's see if there's anything that I missed here. Do you have a real estate pet peeve?
Well, my biggest pet peeve is that agents talk shit about other agents. Like, not by name, but it's like, oh, they do this and they did that. And I'm like, was it ethical? Yes. Does it break the law? No. They can do it.
Yeah.
Like, if they can sustain a business by never answering their phone, that is their prerogative.
Yep.
So it might make your life harder if they can't answer the phone, but like, it's, well, I mean, a lot of heat for that one. A lot of people don't love that.
Well,
But
again,
it's just
is it ethical? Are they breaking the law? Then
that's how I look at it.
yeah.
So, but it's a lot of people will, just really, just talk shit. And I struggle with it because I'm like, just let them be.
Yeah.
Move on, figure out, learn. This is how this person works.
Fair enough. Well,
Thanks for having me on.
yeah, thanks.
Yes.
For sitting down and in front of these three scary cameras.
I haven't even seen this one over here.
Yeah, that one's pointed at me, that one's got you, and that one's got both of us. This will be the first one that I really have that I can use that one, so I'm looking forward to it because it's actually in focus and recording. So, but
That means I can tell exactly how good I look.
yeah, it didn't break, so we're good.